So let's talk about the Prydwen Wuthering Wave tier list. And this tier list is divided in three categories: DPS, hybrid, and support. Interesting that they choose to name as hybrid. Some people use the name sub DPS, that I think is erroneous because hybrid makes more sense. Although I have my things that I want to criticize about this organization, but let's I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about DPS. DPS is easy to understand. We are talking about the characters that stay on field for more time, like 14, 15 seconds. They do the most damage and all that. Well, first place T0 is Jinyan. Jian has this place easily because he's the character that does the most damage. That's it. And he is also the most simple to play. He can play just clicking the left button of the mouse, and that's it. You don't need to worry about swapping characters. Just hit, just attack, ultimate attack. That's it. You are playing G1. You don't need to swap console. So the most easy and most damage. And he is also the best character to deal with AoE because he can pull all the enemies together. Okay, he is just the best DPS. Well, this the next rank. We have Calcharo, Encore, and Havoc. This makes a lot of sense because Calcharo and Encore are the two best DPS after Jinyan. They work in a more swappy way. You need to cancel the long animations, but nothing like you can do. You have a lot of characters that you can use together with them. Like Calcharo can play with Lin, can play with Jinyan, Jianqing really well, and Encore can play with Sanhua. So you can do the rotations. It's easy to understand, not that difficult. Of course, it becomes difficult when we are trying to dodge the boss's attacks and enemies' attacks, but the rotation is not that difficult. And of course, we have Over Havoc here. I don't think Over Havoc should be here, not because this rank is too high for him, but because I think or she, depending what you choose, should be at the hybrid because you don't really want to play the Hover Havoc as DPS, as the character that it has like 14, 15 seconds on field because the strong part of this character is the Resonance Liberation and Echo. So Resonance Liberation, Echo does a lot of damage. It's like a nuke. But it doesn't make sense you staying with her on field after that. So yeah, for me it's more like a hybrid. But it makes sense this rank. Just to the side, to the right. Like you have here Denjin. Denjin is T1. I don't think this T1s deserve it because she has a lot of damage. She can easily surpass Calcharo and Encore. But here they are considering sequence 0. So yeah, sequence 0, okay, T1. But if you have like sequence 6, yes, she is like top here or even T0. But of course, she has the hard way to play. It's different from Jian. Jian is super easy. She's super hard because one hit, you're dead. Chicha, don't have too much to talk about her because she's just weak. And Ling Wang is interesting because we don't have that much tests done about this character. He has a potential to have a lot of damage, but doesn't seem to work really well with swap things. So yeah, I don't think I can talk too much about the furry. Really, maybe he could be here, but maybe we need to test, and no one is testing. Basically, Winning is just T0 in hybrids, makes sense. She needs like 6-8 seconds on field, and she does a lot of damage while he is in on field. After that, she has a really good buff for her thing. Is like Resonant Liberation damage buff is too good for a lot of characters. Like Havoc and Calcharo, they love the healing buff. So a lot of people can use. She's just too good, and even without using his buff, she can do a lot of damage. And Mortify and Sanhua, they are really strong. Here they are S0. S0 makes sense. They be here. Mortify at X6, I think sequence 6 is like best than Ilin, in my opinion, because he does a lot of damage off field, like in Lin, and he has a really strong buff, like the best buff in the game, outside of Verena, of course, because his buff can improve a lot of the Jian damage. And Jian is the best DPS, so he has the best buff for Jian, and a lot of damage, a lot of regeneration. Don't need too much time on field. This guy is like the gods of hybrids. Free to play. So good, so good, so good. Rover Spectral. Oh yeah, of course. Sanhua just deserve to be here because she works really well with Encore and a lot of different characters too, but Encore is the primary one, and she's really good at swap things. Deserve it. And Rover Spectral is just bad. Not bad, but he could be better, but we have Havoc. And why are you going to play as Spectral if you have just a better character here? So yeah, it's not a bad character, but there are better one here. So why would you choose to play as Hover Spectral? The only thing that Hover Spectral has that Havoc doesn't have is the heal at sequence 4, and the heal you can choose to play with the Echo set of the healing Echo set, and the healing Echo set has a really good buff. So if you want a third healer for a third thing that is going to use the Echo set for healing, you could choose to play Hover Spectre. It's not that bad. It's good actually, but if you make that choice, you are not playing as Hover Havoc. That is just a better character. So yeah. And here we have Alto and Yanyu. Yanyu is just bad because the thing that he does best is breaking, and breaking is not that useful, at least currently. If in the future we have some boss that becomes extra weak after being broke, one will be useful, but right now, not very much is useless. And Alto is like, he has a buff, but Mortefi is just a better character than Alto. If you want to buff Jinyan, you can choose Mortefi. And Mortefi is going to do more damage, is going to do the rotation faster, has a better buff. Alto has a good buff. It's like close to Mortefi. If you have second 6, it's like better, but it does less damage, doesn't do damage outside the field. Takes a longer time to make the rotation work. Yeah, doesn't today doesn't it's not worth to invest in this character. Only if you, I don't know, you want to use Mortefi with Calcharo or Overweather or Danjin, and then of course you don't have the energy, so you use Auto with Jinyan for the second scene. Yeah, that makes sense, but Outside of that, don't do it. And of course, support the character that takes less time on field. They give the universal buff for everyone, and of course, Verena is the GOAT. Today, the best character in Wuthering Waves because he can be in anything. In anything, he is the best third option because the buff is just amazing, amazing. The damage dealing buff, the attack buff, everything is just amazing about her. She can use the healer set, that's amazing too, to buff. She can use the Bellborn Echo. She can make her rotation extremely fast. It's the faster rotation in the game, so it doesn't take too much time in the field, so you can just move on your rotation. She's amazing, amazing, amazing. If you don't choose her, just stop what you're doing and go take and go choose the Verena, the next banner, because she's amazing. And next character is Janqing. Janqing is an amazing surprise. I wasn't expecting her to be so good, but she's like amazing with Calcharo. She can use the healing set using the weapon that heals. She can pull all the enemies together, and currently and in the tower we have a tower that you kinda want a grouper, if you can say something like that, because we have a lot of enemies like all over the place. And if you, even if you don't upgrade your Janqing, like a lot of small enemies, a lot of small enemies, a lot of small enemies. She's amazing dealing in these situations, like a lot of small enemies, a lot of small enemies. So if you, okay, you are struggling here, you just take a Janqing and you now do AoE damage with any character because everyone will be together. Like, she makes the difference. But if you not able to do, you don't even need to upgrade her because her damage is not that impressive, really. So yeah, she's amazing currently. Her buff and his Resonant Liberation does everything that you want for a support, basically. And next, oh yeah, in the rotation, you don't need to worry about the Forte, so you don't spend too much time with her, and that's it. Next one is Baisi. Baisi is like Verena, but better, no, but worse. And a worse Verena is still a kind of Verena, and a kind of Verena is good because we don't have too much options for sports, really. Like, look at this place. Look at the side of the like, don't have too many options. So yeah, you are going to want to use Baisi. Baisi has a interesting outro, like Verena, but worse, but still Verena. Worse, but Verena. That's it. The outro is like where I can find here. Oh, it's, the outro is Resonation, gain this healing, also gain 15% out type damage deepen. So yeah, out deep damage deepen is the best buff in this game. If you don't know, you know now. This is the best type of buff in the Wuthering Waves. So 15% is like amazing, amazing. This buff is amazing. And if you already using Verena in another team, you can use Baisi in the second team, and you are really fine. Of course, Baisi is lower for doing her rotation. The buff is worse, but still does the job. So yeah, for me, I would take Baisi and put her on the next tier here because, of course, when the next update we have like 2 DPSs. So where are the sports? We don't have that much choice. So I think Baisi is better, at least for now. At least for now. And Yang Yang is just worse Janqing. So yeah, worse Janqing. If you have Janqing, you don't need a Yang Yang in your account. And we don't talk about Tauki. Tauki is just horrible. It's slow, and yeah, maybe you can use the heal set so you can buff, but that's it. And she has an outer skill that buff the skill damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, skill damage. It's potentially good for the next characters, the next update, but currently, no. Yeah, that's it. That's the tier list. I think that tier list is like well distributed. I wouldn't change that much. So what do you all think? You change something? Tell for me in the bottom below of the video, and thank you all for watching.